All right. Well, once again, thank you wherever you are, whether it's
Good
evening where
morning,
you
everyone.
are or afternoon or morning. We want to thank you for the attention and the time that you give to this endeavor called Zinzino. I'm Stephen
I'm
Cherniske, a
Stephen
research
Cherniske, a research
biochemist.
biochemist.
This is my
This is
wife,
my
a double
wife, a
board
double board.
certified family practice physician. And we are Zinzino advisory board members, as well as your go-to resource for what we call Zinzino Science Insights. And in that regard, of why do we talk about things like this? We do because there's multiple things going on at the same time in Zinzino. If you went to the Zinzino event, you certainly know that there's a lot going on the science side, on the product development side. And you know that that's exciting, and you know that you want to be part of it because you see people succeeding. You see people getting healthier. You see people getting stronger. You see people having with less discomfort in their muscles, their tendons, their ligaments, their joints, their bones. So you want to be part of that. And so we want to support that however we can. At the same time, um, we feel strongly that if people knew better, they would do better. That's one of my favorite adages. And what I mean by that is the more we know about how our body works, the better will be the outcome. It's really intriguing. And I've been studying this for a very long time because it really is true that your brain controls so much more of your physiology than we ever imagined. We talk about positive thinking. We talk about doing our affirmations. We talk about managing our stress with meditation. We talk about all these different ways that we can help the brain and the body work together. But one way, which I've always found to be helpful, I've always found it to be powerful, is to get some inspiration. Um, when I was teaching doctors and nurses clinical nutrition, basically in my contract said I was there to help them develop dietary recommendations for their patients with high blood pressure, dietary recommendations for their patients with diabetes and kidney disease, and that was part of what I was supposed to do. But if all I did was give them information so that they could pass a test, I would be missing the opportunity to do what? To inspire them, to change their awareness, not only of how to deal with our patients, but their awareness of who they are as a miraculous, incredible, astounding human being. So let's do that. Let's spend a little bit of time doing that. Natalie, could you bring up slide number 1?
Right.
This is called Who Am I? This is what you learned in Bio 101. You learned that this was the cell, and you had cell membranes and mitochondria and an endoplasmic reticulum, which you couldn't even say, let alone understand. You had the nucleus, which is improperly labeled here. But this was the image. This is what you got on page 139 of Bio 101. And you thought you went into your life thinking, oh, I'm just 35 trillion of those. That's what I am. And this is a toxic, terrible image to be having in your brain. But if you don't change that, that will be one of those things that will trip you up. So here's what I want to show you. Something different, something remarkably different. And here it is.
The other version.
This is the other version of the cell. This is you. 35 trillion of those. This
And that's
what
not even the full cell.
No, that's not even the full cell. I don't even have the nucleus in this slide. But this is a what they did was they took electron microscope and they took multiple electron microscope photographs of a human cell. And then they said to an AI computer, put this into a graphic image and make the different cell structures visible by making them different colors. And this is what they came up with. Now, Let's take a look at this because I want you to really get this. This is this is what's going on in every cell of your body. It isn't that simple little diagram that were taught. It's this. And the more we understand this, the more we are amazed by this, the more we are able to improve your cells, which means your life on a daily basis.
Can I just interject here? I'm going to use the marker here. I'm
Mm.
going to go over all of these are cellular membranes. This beige line here in the mitochondria. Here it is around the
Lysosome.
lysosome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And of course, the parts of the Golgi apparatus. Here it is around the endoreticulum. So when we talk about the benefits of getting ourselves into balance and that we're
Thank you.
testing, and we get this number back, and for most of us, it is out of balance.
Yes.
In fact, here in the US, 99% of us are out of balance, and it's as high as 24 to 1 is the average over here.
Yeah.
And health is 3 to 1. So when we talk about cell membranes, we often just talk about, oh, the structure of the cell and it needs to be more fluid. But really, we're also talking about all those intricate little membranes inside of the cell.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So the whole concept of our omega-3 index, yes, 10% of us should be EPA and DHA omega-3 fatty acids. That is what health is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back just real quick. I'll get off this, but thank you, because that is incredibly important. It's incredibly true. Now, does this do? Can I do this too? Okay, endoplasmic reticulum. All right. Think of that as again. There's no test here, but think of an Amazon warehouse. You've seen probably videos of an Amazon warehouse, right, with thousands and thousands of packages being assembled and shipped out, and then other materials being shipped in to stock the shelves. Well, this is your endoplasmic reticulum, right? Only take that image in your head and multiply that times 1,000. That's what's going on here, right? Because there are more packages being assembled and distributed by by your endoplasmic reticulum than there are being processed by Amazon. And it's going on in your cells, every single cell. And all of the proteins and the little packages that they're making, they go down here to what, Natalie?
The Golgi apparatus.
The Golgi apparatus, which again, in an electron microscope, looks like a stack of pancakes, right? And what the Golgi apparatus is doing is packaging them up for shipping them into another part of the cell, or even using another structure called a vesicle, which attaches to the cell membrane and then produces a portal where that molecule, whether it's a protein or an enzyme, all right, is then sent out from that cell to travel to other cells to do something critically important. But again, all of that is, as Natalie just reminded you, is managed. All that molecular traffic within the cell and outside of the cell is all managed by these cell membranes.
So as we talk about the cell membrane and we talk about the benefits of making it easier for the nutrients to get in and the waste products to get out, we also need to add, and it also makes it easier for the communication to get out so that the cells can talk to each other better.
One more point. Speaking of cell communication, can you bring that up again? This is just for your entertainment and enjoyment. See this? This is a microtubule. There's a handful of microtubules in this picture, right? But what I want you to focus on are these little red dots. These are kinesins. These are molecular machines. They are literally molecular machines.
They're little workers.
They're little workers traveling. They have little feet, and they travel back and forth along these microtubules to shuttle enzymes, proteins, and other molecules throughout the cell to make that cell function. And all of this is being driven by the energy being produced here in the mitochondria.
And the kinesins even grab a hold of the mitochondria and drag them over to the parts of the cell where they need more energy. And when the cell is in a state of more activity, and it depends on things like vitamin D as because for energy, right? For that message of activity, these little cristae, and here are these little walls, become even more numerous. And you can see the activity of the kinesins dragging that mitochondria to where it's needed. It's just amazing. It's a whole separate ecosystem. And as we talk about the every cell concept,
Yes.
we want to reflect on, how big this is, how it really is every little particle inside these amazing 37 trillion cells that we have. And so we are mindful about our balanced products.
Ah,
Yes.
we are mindful about never missing a day
No.
in this household.
No, and we have a reminder set so that we don't miss. And every morning I dish out our Extend to us because we don't want to miss that with 23 immune system boosters in it and important nutrients, including CoQ10. And of course, now we have the gut health test.
Ooh, tell
And
us more about that.
Stephen and I just took ours this morning, and so I want to share with people what to expect for the questioning so that when we talk to other people about the test, they'll be ready to answer.
Wonderful.
And the xenobiotic for our gut test, our gut health. Yes. All right. Shall we move on to the questions to expect?
Yes, please.
Okay. We're really excited about the gut health test, and we get this PowerPoint here ready. All right. Can everyone see this okay? All right. So when you register your gut health test, this is what to expect because there are questions that are new and different, and we want to be ready for those. And so it starts with here in the United States for registering which country are you in, and fill in your age, your weight, your height, your sex at birth, and then questions about your servings of fiber-rich foods in your diet, like whole grains, legumes, like beans, fruits and vegetables, and how much you have each day.
How many fruits did we have this morning? I'm just curious if you remember.
Mango, papaya,
apple, mango, papaya, apple, and persimmon.
And then for vegetables, we had leeks, greens, and mushrooms.
Onions and garlic and mushrooms. Yeah, that was our breakfast.
Are you currently taking any fiber supplements? So for both Stephen and I, we clicked both yes, Xenobiotic and yes, other brand. And then tell about your xenobiotic consumption, how many scoops per day, how many days per week, and for how many months has this been going on?
And these are just sliders that you easily can
click for
indicate.
Yep. And then the other fiber supplement that you're taking, how many grams of that fiber do you take? How many days per week? And how many months have you been consuming it? And then have you been taking any of the following supplements regularly, which means at least 4 days per week over the last 120 days? And the first section is Zinzino products. And so, of course, I checked off Balance Oil, Extend, Revo. I haven't added X Gold yet.
Not on a regular basis.
Nope. But, and then for others Zinzino products, you bet I have put the Viva there. And we've talked about the importance of Viva in gut health before. And then other brands, oops, let me go back here. The omega, in case the person is taking any other omega-3 supplement. See, sorry about that. A multivitamin or a probiotic supplement, and then scroll down where you also get options of postbiotic supplement and digestive enzymes. Some duplication there, sorry about that. All right, and then we need your help. Please say yes. Please say yes that you want to participate, and please help your customers to say yes, because this is important data for our research and development group as we move forward. How often do you consume fermented foods? I consume goat yogurt every day. Some people have kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, and so fill that out. What dietary pattern do you follow most of the time? And so omnivore, vegetarian, vegan,
low carbohydrate, high fat.
Exactly. Yep. High protein, the whole keto diet kind of thing. Carnivore, pescatarian, no meat except fish and seafood, and Mediterranean. And then how often do you engage in physical activity? You know, so we want moderate or intense exercise. How many hours of sleep do you typically get per night? And we're happy that our sleep is getting better thanks to the Zinzino products. How would you describe your current stress level? You may remember that in the gut health test, there are 3 important metabolites that are assessed. And this is looking at the conversion of tryptophan to kynurenine. And we make more of that when we're under stress. Me. And then tryptophan conversion to IPA, which happens in a healthy way by our microbiome. So, how do you describe your current stress level? Do you feel unable to control important things? Do you feel, is it never? Is it very often? Next question of the 4. Feel confident about handling personal problems? Felt things were going your way? And felt difficulties piling up beyond control? And this is a surprise question in that it asks, have you taken any of these 4 tests in the last 6 months? And if so, you put in your ID number from that test, and look at that. It links it as it's gathering more data and creating associations between what my diet is and what we see for the results. Have you had a common cold or flu in the past 14 days? Have you had a diagnosed infection in the past month? When did you finish your last antibiotic course? Do you have any diagnosed chronic conditions? And so they give this list here. I checked off other because not only do I supplement hormones for deficiencies related to menopause, but also for thyroid. Do you have any current digestive issues? Today I didn't, which was nice. 2 days ago I did. And then regarding notification, we say yes, email, and then there's also an option for your mobile. And then, of course, please consent, and then close. So
And the issue here regarding all this information that they're asking for, this is not just for an academic reasons. This is to move the ball down the field, to move the Zinzino science forward, and to be able to give better recommendations regarding products, regarding behaviors, regarding hints and tips. There's what Natalie called the VSPs back at Zinzino, the very smart people. They're not just gathering information, for the sake of just building databases. There will be AI analyses that will be done, which will look for correlations and ways in which we can improve the products, that we can improve the story as we move this incredible amount of science forward through your help. Remember, you're the ones who are out there sharing. You're the ones who are helping us to gather information. And then from our point of view, we want to just complete the circle of giving you better products, giving you better information, giving you more ammunition in simple, clear ways that you can then share with your clients and your partners. Okay.
thank you, everyone.
All right. Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
Have a great day. Thank
Thanks
you.
to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.